What are the last days before death like? Hi, it's Kitty Duncan here with Death Care Coach. I'm a nurse practitioner and an end of life coach, and I'm here to help you prepare and better navigate for the end of life process. Approximately 61 million people die every year. Death is universal in this way. It is a natural and normal part of our human experience, and yet in today's society, it is often seen as too taboo to talk about. I like to educate about the natural dying process to lessen that taboo and hopefully help you prepare and plan and be more empowered through that journey whenever that journey is. At the same time, I also hope that these videos allow you to be more intentional and live more fully today. In this video, let's talk about some of those signs and symptoms that are commonly seen in the last hours to days before death. This is known as actively dying, or the last phase of the dying process before death occurs. Death can happen for so many reasons, but in this video, we are going to focus specifically on someone who is dying slowly from that of disease or illness, for example, or from an aging body that slowly stops functioning for any number of reasons. Number one, agitation or restlessness. When a person is dying, you might notice that they pick at their clothes, or maybe they remove their clothes altogether, or they try to climb out of bed when they are not able to stand on their own, or they make strange moaning or groaning sounds, or they might sleep all during the day and then they're awake all at night. You might notice they become delirious or confused. They may have personality changes like anger or aggression or combativeness. When these things occur, the dying person doesn't seem to be aware of their behaviors or actions. We often refer to this as terminal agitation or terminal delirium. Terminal agitation is not entirely understood, and we don't always know what the exact cause is. It may be caused by many different things, including medications, internal changes of fluid and electrolytes inside of the body, as well as other toxins in the body that may be building up as vital organs are shutting down. It's important to know that if your loved one is experiencing terminal delirium or terminal agitation to any extent, it is not their normal selves behaving or speaking. It is not them. It is the disease and the changes of the dying process that are affecting the person's personality and behavior. Number two, decreased consciousness. In the last hours to days before death, the nervous system is shutting down. The person is going to be less and less awake and less alert. They will appear to be sleeping all the time or completely unaware of their surroundings. Sometimes the eyelids will actually stay partially open because it takes muscle and reflex to close the eyelids all the way. And when a person is actively dying, their muscles are relaxing and their reflexes are slowing. Even when the eyelids are open, the person won't be making eye contact. The eyes appear to be in this same fixed position. They're not moving. Number three, breathing changes. When a person is actively dying, you might notice an irregular breathing pattern. We call this Cheyne-Stokes breathing. Cheyne-Stokes breathing or Cheyne-Stokes respirations is when the person looks like they are breathing faster and faster and heavier, and then those breaths will slow down and quiet until they stop completely for a period of time. This pause in breathing is also known as apnea. After that pause in breathing, that pattern is going to repeat again. So heavy, fast breaths, followed by shallower breaths, followed by that long apneic pause. You might also hear a crackling, rattling, or gurgle type of sound with each breath, and this is something that we call terminal secretions. And you might also hear it called the death rattle. This is when saliva and other bodily secretions start to collect in the back of the throat because the dying person is going to lose the ability to swallow. And then every time that person breathes, air is going to pass over that collection of saliva, and it creates this loud, wet noise, this gurgle type of noise. This sound is noisy and it sounds unpleasant to us, but it's not painful for the dying person. As death nears, the breath usually appears more gasp-like, and this is what we call agonal breathing. With agonal breathing, the person is not really inflating their lungs here. They're not oxygenating their lungs. This is a reflex breath pattern that happens just before death. Eventually, those small gasps will become softer and softer, and they may start to space out longer and longer between each small gasp until another breath doesn't follow the last. Number 4, loss of bladder and bowel control. It is completely normal for the dying person to lose the ability to control their urine and their stool. It does require muscle and reflex again to control the bladder and the rectum. And so when a person is actively dying and the nervous system is shutting down and reflexes are relaxing and their muscles are relaxing, it is going to cause that person to soil themselves unknowingly. Number 5, skin color changes. When the heart is shutting down in preparation for death, it will not be able to pump blood normally. Because of this, less and less blood flow is going to be reaching the parts of the body that are furthest away from the heart. So that includes things like the feet, the lower legs, the upper legs, the fingers, the hands, and even the arms. And so you might notice that the person's skin changes in color and in temperature. The skin may feel cold and it may turn a bluish or purple or red or kind of blotchy-like appearance. This color change is known as mottling, and it is a normal sign of the dying process and is typically one of the last signs before death. While these are all of the most common and normal signs that death is approaching, that death is nearing, usually within hours to days, not everyone will experience all of them. It's important to remember that just like the birthing process, the dying process is unique to each person. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. I'll do my best to create more videos that answer your questions. If you'd like to hear more from me, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel where I share more about death, dying, end-of-life care, death doulas, grief, and so much more. Thank you so much and see you next time.